What's up, everybody? Welcome to AEW Uncensored. You got the East-West Connect here. I'm on the East, Alan's on the West.
Hey, yo.
Got our boy Anthony with us. He is not on camera. He is malfunctioning. He was with us on an earlier episode. Listen, man, we're climbing the ranks. You know, the East-West Connect. We're jobbers now. We're hoping to get mid-card sooner or later. And today we've taken the day off to go trios, and we got Anthony with us. But
we have various rankings in our live action role.
Yeah. Listen, we're jobbers right now. We're putting motherfuckers over. You know, first off, I want to say rest in peace to Mr. Wrestling 2. It's been a rough month, man, for wrestling. I mean, you know. It's crazy. It's been crazy.
A lot of stuff's been going, man.
You know, listen, he lived a long life, which is good. You know, you can't, you know, not as tragic as the last two passings, but you know, any death sucks. So, also, just want to start off, as always, hit us up on Skype. Links in the description. From that link, from Skype, we're gonna bring you on the show, basically like a caller. You know, you want to discuss shit with us, you want to talk with us, you got a question for us that you want us to discuss, anything like that. You know, our goal is interaction with this podcast, so just keep that in mind. You know, I you know, the more people the merrier that get in on our chat, and so we have a specific chat where, you know, it'll be for people who listen to the show, and you can always just go in there and you know, from there, you know, request to be on the actual show itself. So that's about it. Just want to get that out of the way. Like, share, and subscribe. You know how it goes. You know how YouTube does. iTunes, review, rate, you know, that stuff. It's all important for us. It's important to get us out there. We've been doing pretty good on those metrics and such, so can't complain there. We appreciate you guys that have done some of that stuff for us. And but let's just hop right into it. I mean, first thing I kind of wanted to discuss was I saw the ratings, man, and ratings are, I'm shocked that they're down. They kind of spiked for right before Double or Nothing. What was it? Yeah, Double or Nothing, and you know, kind of went closer to where they average, but they're back down again. I get the climate. I get the climate of what wrestling is today with no crowds, but I think that AEW does an amazing job with it. So I'm not sure what's keeping people from getting back, you know, into it and watching wrestling again on Wednesday night.
Yeah, it is. It's down across the board with the business. NXT was even lower. Believe it or not, it's really sad. It's Tota Bella beat both AEW and NXT. It's like what? But you know what? I guess maybe there it is. Maybe they need to be doing whatever. But yeah, it is a business across the board thing. It is very hard to understand because again, you are talking about where everybody's in, nobody's really going out. Some parts of the country are now going out again. But still, it is surprising. The ratings are where they are, and you know, at least again, they are doing better than NXT. That says something.
Yeah, I mean, Total Bells is kind of its own thing too, because it is, you know, I'm sure that's bringing in tons of people who watch reality TV, you know, that aren't necessarily wrestling fans.
I said that more tongue just as a fun gag.
I know.
The reason I brought up something about that, like Justice for the Fellas, AEW, NXT.
I've seen it. There was a meme. Yeah, there was a meme. You know, and I know you're joking, but just because there's people out there that'll cry about you saying it, you know, like
just hand him a tissue.
There you go.
Yeah, so
that doesn't matter. I mean, ratings go up and down. They're gonna always go down. Something's gonna happen to make it like, you know, maybe bring back some old wrestler to make everyone watch again. It has to be something. Like that.
Yeah. So we could go into what do we got here? So, all right, there's a lot of interesting stuff. Dax Harwood posted on Twitter They don't do flips, super kicks, etc. Somebody replied, they aren't fucking around, and gives off the old, and that FTR gives off the old Four Horsemen vibes. And then he had replied with the four horse emojis, and he says, he meant the Butcher replied, but is there only two of them? But there is only two of them. I'm sorry. And he replied with four horse emojis and said, but is there? So I know they're kind of giving off the vibe of something coming down the pike.
Yeah, it's always nice to try to grab that kind of action. Four Horsemen is interesting because I feel like you and I, I'm sure as well, that's from our era. I guess it'll be how that's going to connect with the younger viewers. And I think that's a lot of stuff that's happening now. The Tully Blanchard situation with the Blackwell last week, and now they are trying to harken back a lot to the old days, to the old concepts. I am curious to see though again, like who is that going to connect with us? It'll be nice to see if they go in that kind of direction. I do wonder how it's going to connect with the younger fans. If it's just going to go completely over their heads. What is it? Four horses, whatever.
I mean, Four Horsemen definitely knows who they are. Everyone knows who they are, and pretty sure if they're going to tease something like that, they're probably going to go for something like that. I don't see why they wouldn't. The only one. I mean, can't get Ric Flair. Though.
No. Except for life.
Yeah, dude. I'm good. I'm profiling on this end. I hope not. Because I'm gonna say I really don't like. Wheeler and Dash and all those mess. I really forgot their names already. But yeah, I don't like them. I don't like FTR.
Maybe Mongo can make an appearance. Apparently, he's trying to get out there again. Didn't he set up a new Twitter or something? And he's trying to become a no entity again. Maybe he's going to show up.
So no Dax and no Cash for you, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. I didn't like them all throughout NXT and when they were in WWE. They weren't. I wasn't feeling them. I gave them a chance. I don't really like them. I mean, it's cool that what they're going for. It's just, I don't know. As characters, I don't know. Not feeling them.
I mean, we'll get into it when we talk about the show itself, but because there was some things that I want to point out with that, but I mean, it's kind of hard to talk about that without talking about the match, but I guess we could kind of keep this Four Horsemen thing going. I could see when they were wrestling that, they had Arn, Tully in the crowd taking notes, Jake. They also had Sean Spears. So I have a feeling, in my opinion, I think I could see Sean Spears, FTR, and then I don't know what direction you go, but maybe, I don't know if you want to bring MJF in that because a lot of people already compare him to Flair, and maybe you kind of want to separate him from that. But I could see that maybe in EC3 if he joins the company. Also, the possibility, I kind of said this early on, there's no real reason for Arn to join with Cody. I didn't really understand it, but I could see him turning on Cody and doing, forming the new Four Horsemen, based off of that with FTR. Just a thought process, because I really, again, I don't see a reason why Arn is really with, like a lot of people are like, what the fuck is he doing there, And of course, there's always the Dusty and Four Horsemen, never trust the Horsemen, basically. You know what I mean?
Well, you could flip that on its head as well. Maybe since they are going down this road of Cody going heel, it's a very road at the moment. Maybe in a bit of irony, he turns on Arn and says, I'm going to build a better horse than you ever did. Now it's my group. So maybe he's the guy who then ends up being that one in charge. It's possible too.
You know what? I like that. I think that'd be actually really good. I think Cody Spears and FTR would be a fucking pretty good team, man.
Yep.
Pretty good team. Now since it was the first match, we could talk about it, but I like how that match went. I know Anthony says you don't like him, man, but I felt.
I don't like them, but I didn't say the match wasn't that bad. It was okay.
Right, I thought the match was great. I thought both teams worked a great match.
Yeah, I did too.
Well, I like Butcher and Blade, man. I actually really like them. I think they're a great team.
I think they need Bunny.
You think so?
I think Buddy kind of fair. It's like I don't know. They don't need her to be successful. They are very entertaining. But I kind of feel like does add an element to them. To just it's nice to have that female managerial presence. I guess. I don't know. I kind of enjoyed the more when she was with them. But either way, they still in the ring for sure. They were fantastic. I do think great match. I like the way I could see a program of a number of matches between these for sure. So I liked it.
Yeah. It was good. I think they actually did pretty well. Both sides. It's just like I said. I don't really like one team, but I'm good with pushing the blade. I think they're really good. I don't really think that FTR should stay. They're kind of the same people in WWE. Like it feels no different from over there. You know what I mean? They're kind of.
Yeah, but that's what they are.
I know, that's probably why I don't like them that much.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully, like I said, I'm not going to say their match was bad. Anyway, shape or form. I just don't like their characters. I think they need to do something a little bit more, at least for me. In my opinion, it has to up themselves a little.
Well, they might be trying to replicate what they did only because what they were saying on the Cornette podcast is that everybody would always go up to them and say you're doing great, you get pushed, so they always kept shooting it down. We shouldn't break what we fixed, so let's do it. I don't know. Let's just keep doing what we're doing and see if it goes over. But yeah. I guess that would explain why they are performing the way they are, trying to feel like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully they do better. I really, like I said, I want to see a little bit more from them.
All right. Well, sorry guys, but getting feedback here. So, concerning that match, some things I liked in it was I love the swinging neck breaker. It was nice to see that. Again, basic shit, basic old school style. The brain buster. I love how they were holding the ropes up.
Yep.
The tag ropes to say, hey, look, I'm holding the tag rope. Both teams, solid match, clean work. Again, back to that spear staring at Tully in the crowd. What is that about? Where is it going? I wouldn't mind seeing him team up with FTR. I think Spears has a lot to offer. I think he just kind of got to change the packaging just a little bit,
Yeah, and he may be somebody who really does work best in a group. Maybe the idea is that he doesn't work so well solo. And so if you do get him in a situation, or some type of other people, maybe that's where he's going to shine.
Oh yeah, I like Spears. I think he's okay the way he is. Like I said, he needs to find his whole as a character. You know what I mean? He's good in the ring. Works well. It's just he needs to. I know he's been since AEW started pretty much, but maybe he'll catch on with something soon.
What do you got, Alan? hit the next topic. I'm trying to figure out some echo issues.
All right. Yeah. All right. I'm trying to as well here. I don't really hear anything going on. But well, I mean, I know we kind of skipped over dark. Why we could just continue with the show since we are breaking into that. You know, we did have this situation that happened after the Young Bucks came out, and it's obvious that they are building towards something eventually with the Bucks. Are who they were, who FTR is always wanting to work with. That's their dream match. That's their dream situation. It's something that hopefully it is going to be a slow burn, as opposed to just throwing them together. Because you're really in a situation where you don't really have a lot of quote unquote dream matches. The young guys are out there. This is something that a lot of people talk about for quite a while now. Which is FTR and the Young Bucks. So they're building to something, and they will hold off on it until there's a big event to actually have it. But they're continuing to build that. I did feel that, and I might be aging myself here, when he's like, my name's Brother on the Dick. I kind of felt like, hi, I'm Daryl, my brother Daryl, Blue Heart Days, and I just got that vibe. Years ago.
Yeah, man. I think they'll have a program together. Well, yeah. I mean, they also had that Twitter battle for quite a while because they couldn't really say too much to each other because they were different companies. You know what I mean? And hopefully they'll give us something good. Maybe they are the people who I need to see them with to actually like get a better feel for them. Let's just say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Sometimes maybe that's what it takes. Is that if you're not a fan of a certain group, you just have to see them click with the right group, and then maybe that changes your mind.
Yeah, because I'll say this. Never ever like the nude ever. Like I don't either. So now there has been stuff that made me like them at moments. But that's it. You know what I mean? Like it's very small lines. But that's pretty much the same thing I feel with them. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they have an overall side to that. Really hard to. They've never broken away from it. I mean, they haven't changed how many years.
I know.
I guess there's the question: is somebody like FTR is that a group where if it does feel like they're not clicking in their personas, do they change their gears and do they become something else? Got to evolve. It comes down to evolve. Then great.
They'll probably get shot up pretty quickly. Get to the main event. See how they are while they're going. You know what I mean? And if they'll probably give them the belts, maybe they'll attempt for it. Don't get them. They'll go back and try again, type of thing. But give them like base in the company pretty much. But they'll give them a nice little push in the beginning.
Yeah. Yep. For sure. I mean, they have to. They spent the money. They got these guys to make a big deal out of it. They might as well shoot to the top.
Yeah. Definitely.
So I mean, they have the basic drawing back and forth, and Sabian, Jimmy Havoc, coming out, the usual. Bit of joint going on, and that's pretty much it. But I mean, after that, we've got QT, Marshall, Ali, and then you got Brandon.
There has to happen with that. Yeah, they need to get her away.
Yep.
They really do. Like I get it. They're trying to give him a little bit because he really has no and then you just want to throw that across the room type of oomph. Yeah. They're pretty much just keep putting them in the track performance just to get them a few kudos points.
Yeah. But Brandy's wondering why Ali's wearing the Nightmare Family jacket. It's silly. And Dustin, of course, telling he's got to get his partners in the game. Next week, they have to shop the titles. On a quick side note, Dustin's look kind of drives me a little bit batty because I feel like he's got a permanent spider sense going. I feel like Spider-Man where half the face be Spider-Man, half the face be Peter Parker. He's got spiders going off. That's what he looks like. He's got that permanent. I guess permanent Dustin sense tingling. I don't know. It's a bit jarring.
I think he should. He should really change his look again. I mean, it's cool. I actually like how he paints it and everything like that. It's just switch it up a little bit. I've seen him have that since like the beginning. Like I said, I've seen him that actually in a lot of wrestlers, and they're keeping the same exact stuff. I know it's only been a year, but still, you know what I mean? Like a little bit of change would be pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's take a pause real quick because I got to figure out what's going on here.
All right.
We'll be back in a second.
Okay.
All right, sorry about that, fellas. We had a big issue with echoing. Apparently, it's because we had the third member. I believe our third episode we had Anthony on, and we had some echoing again. I'm assuming it's because of some kind of setting that we're missing. So I'm gonna have to look into this. I don't know what it is, but we're gonna have to fix it for the future because we definitely want to have guests on.
For sure.
So anyway, sadly we had to dump our trio partner and go back to tag team jobbing. As you can see, we jobbed very hard during this episode.
Yep.
I think we were one of those tag teams that Vader came in and squashed. You know, like 2-on-1, and I'm the guy that Vader broke his neck basically at this point. So all right, that like the beginning of the episode started off all right, and then it kind of just went a little haywire. But so let's kind of just try to pick this back up and salvage what we can.
Sure.
We spoke about the Four Horsemen stuff and whatnot. I kind of got a little lost because I was trying to figure this stuff out.
No worries. Yeah, we were talking about FTR. We were talking about what they're building to them in the Young Bucks. Right. I put a bad Newhart joke in there that probably half the audience is not going to get. And then we ended up talking a bit about what was happening backstage with QT Marshall and Brandy, and Dustin having the permanent gold dust sense tingling since he constantly has that half-painted face.
Yeah.
That's where we left off before things went a little bit haywire.
All right, so I mean, let's continue with QT and that.
Sure.
I know we do a quick dark rundown, but I'll just hit the QT off of both shows. For what I have from QT was the new T-shirts made. I mean, how QT's like he's really tall, and they're both Brandy and Dustin are real small. It was Allie's now cheating for QT, so what is that going to do? Is that QT going heel? What's it going to lead to? Again, this is all. I really have, honestly, I tried thinking about it. I have no idea where this is going. But,
I don't either.
Yeah. With QT running out to help Allie because she hurt her finger and she's screaming, and Brandy's playing off that she really hurt her wrist after getting bumped off. Yeah, it's weird. I just don't know where it's going. And again, it's QT Marshall, whatever.
Marshall, yeah, exactly. Right.
So I don't know that. I honestly don't even care about the thing. I am curious though where it's going to end up.
Right.
I'm more. Again, I think she should be with Butcher and Blade, like we had mentioned earlier.
Yeah, it's a better fit. Like, I still don't understand why they broke them up, because it felt like they were gaining a bit of momentum being a group, and then all of a sudden they just decided to put her in a different direction. And I don't know why they would have decided to do that so quickly, and especially during a point where it appeared that they were getting over as a group. So I don't know.
Right. Yeah, and then then they just kind of like did some more of that build up, of for their matches coming week for the titles.
Yep.
So, just a little more build up. So going back to just basic crap to talk about, Dustin Rhodes had mentioned he had some progress going on his school that he wants to run. He wanted to open up. So I'm actually glad about that, because very early on he said, I'd love to open up a school and help train these guys. And like I said in the past, I think that him opening a school, it'd be best if he opens a school. I don't know if maybe you open your school and you have cards out of your school, or if you tour a little bit in the Texas area and throw indie shows with cameras and stuff. I feel like he could take that, bring a stationary camera, bring a couple floor cameras, stuff like that. Have it set up like a television show. Stream every single show you do on YouTube like a TV show. Have it be a minor league for AEW, where you're able to bring in AEW characters and wrestlers, characters, whatever you want to call them, and give them the training, but also have new and upcoming talent that you bring in or that you're training, and you meld them all together, and they're all growing together and getting some of that green off of them, you know?
Yeah.
I think that would be a great idea. I think even if he makes it where he just runs shows in his facility and has the camera setups, but I think bringing it to something like YouTube is something that would be huge, not only for him and his product, but also getting younger talent on the national audience, because, or the world audience, because they're gonna tune in to say, hey, Dustin is doing this in conjunction with AEW, you know?
Yeah.
So
I totally agree.
And again, and then it gives these wrestlers a chance to look at themselves on camera and be able to see, you know, on YouTube, hey, this is what I'm doing, XYZ, you know, in a actual television-esque setup.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. So, yeah, it almost could be like an amalgam of, you've got the WWE Performance Center, you've got NWA Power. It's a very, you can almost do a little mix of the two. You've got the Performance Center aspects of, you could bring up new talent, get them used to working in the ring, and then you put together a production similar to what Power does, where they're actually able to be on TV and they're learning on the spot and they're working with the camera, as opposed to try to do all their stuff backstage first and in the center first and then being thrown on TV. So I like that. Yeah, I feel like you could have the two situations. And, you know, as far as whether or not it can travel, well, that depends on our current situation. I mean, once we get everything done, hopefully with COVID, then maybe that can be the idea. Yeah.
Well, right, exactly. I mean, as far as traveling, it's almost like, what kind of camera setup do you have? Like, how can you do it? How can you broadcast it to YouTube? If you could do that in a traveling sense, I would almost do a little bit of a traveling sense. This way, you know, you're not always getting the same people in the crowd. You know, you just stick it to Texas. Texas is a big place.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
You don't have to go out of Texas, but there's wrestling, there's training centers that have their own shows, you know?
Yep.
Cap in New York, Create a Pro. I don't know if he travels. That's Brian Myers and can't remember his part. Oh, Pat Buck. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if they have a traveling thing or they just do it at their facility. But you know, again, I just think it's a nice way to kind of build AEW, build up the greener talent. You know, even send some of the main roster guys down there to bring in eyes. You know, to bring in fans, that type of shit. So. But segueing from what you said with NWA, it seems like this kid Ricky Starks is a free agent.
Yep.
And there's rumors he's signing with AEW. I watched a little bit of Power early on. I haven't watched it. I'm not going to sit here and lie and try to make shit up. I seen him. I wasn't really a big fan of him. Like from the couple matches I seen. He looks like he could work. I just not somebody that I could feel myself getting connected to. But that's just me, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if you watch a lot of NWA Power or not.
I was watching Power when it was first out, and then it had that bit of hiatus, and then I stopped. It's like I almost forgot it was still out there once it went on that hiatus. I saw a little bit of him. I kind of agree. There's nothing really that I find very special about him. He can work, like you said. He's definitely someone that I guess he's a good talent to have there. If you want to sign him up and see what he could do, then great. But yeah, I also don't. There's nothing about him that makes me scream, "Oh, he's amazing! Let's get him in AEW." It's like no. It's like, well, if he's available, fine. Build up the ranks a little bit.
Right. All right, now I'm kind of gonna backtrack here because, like I said, I was kind of distracted. Something I did want to get your feedback on. With the 4 Horsemen scenario, the possibility of a 4 Horsemen in AEW. Now, what would be ideally your 4 Horsemen in AEW? All young talent, obviously if you want to have a manager, Arn Tully, whatever, but I'm talking talent in the ring. Who would be, and it could be anyone available on the market. Not just who's in AEW. If they're out there on the market available, though, them as well.
Okay.
Who would you choose?
Well, I'm gonna go with my original idea of saying Cody should probably maybe lead the group. That you do have somebody who's like a second generation talent. You could have that scenario where he turns on Arn. He wants to form his own group. He wants to make his own marks. I'm going to put him in there. Okay. I like the idea of, if we're talking about people who aren't necessarily there yet, EC3. EC3 is somebody who, especially since he had such a sour, experience at WWE, you try to get your feeling of how he could perform in a group setting like that. He's somebody who could fit a good cog, I think, for sure. Sean Spears, I'm going to stick with, because the fact that, as I was saying before with Anthony, I feel that Sean Spears is somebody who he needs to be a cog. I don't think he's really been proving much by himself. I think also it would make sense from a storyline perspective that you're tying it into the fact that he was now connected with Tully. You've got that old school thing. Well, I want to be involved with this too. I want to get involved with this brand kind of a name. And I think you can get an idea to see where he would sit. If I had to come up with a fourth guy, it's like, man, believe it or not, can we pull from other teams? Because I'd say get Sammy Guevara in there. Get someone like that in there as well to try to round it out, to get a little bit of a different flavor. So it's not just all pointed, I think that someone like him, you get someone of that type of a personality to kind of round out the group and to be that up-and-comer who's kind of he wants to ride the coattails, and he wants to make something of himself. And so he's like, oh, well, let me get in here. And then he eventually just becomes more matured and wants to rise in the ranks of the group like that. So off the top of my head, I guess I would say those will be my four.
So, okay. How did I miss the fourth? I was trying to make sure I had something locked in here. So you said Sammy, Cody, Spears, and who was the fourth?
EC3.
Oh, EC3. Okay, yep. I did hear that.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Again, I was just trying to do some technical side shit here. Okay. See, now I'll say FTR. To me, they're the epitome of the Brain Busters. Arn and Tully. I like Spears. I like Spears as, like you said, that cog. He's there. U.S. title, TNT title, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Similar, like that level can get that. And then, I hate to shoehorn them and kind of keep them in that bubble of the Flair comparisons, but MJF, man, I don't see anybody else, maybe except Cody, that could take that reign and have that type of charisma that you need, the right heel charisma. You know what I mean? Here's the thing about Cody. He's done the face thing. You know what? I guess you could say Flair did too, but in the 80s he didn't do that face thing. You know what I mean? Right. When he was at the top of the Horseman game, 80s, very early 90s, he didn't do that baby face thing. So after that, Flair almost just became like beyond an icon, where face or heel, like he could do whatever,
for sure.
So, man, I think in Cody's career, he's already been the face, he's been the heel. So I would say MJF over Cody, in my opinion.
Right.
I do think Cody could fit as the head of a new Four Horsemen, but I think it almost goes against nature of Rhodes being a horseman.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that would be my four. After seeing that, I don't know these guys, FTR. I didn't really know them before that. But I really liked what I saw. I liked their solid hitting, punchy in the mouth type of wrestling. So I think they fit that Four Horsemen mold perfectly.
The only reason I would shy away from FTR is because I always felt of the Four Horsemen and of a lot of these stables, I guess, that if you're talking about your core group, it's for individuals. Even the Brainbusters were individuals, and they had a lot of history in terms of singles as well. So FTR being a tag team, I don't know. I guess I don't look at a tag team as working as well in a group like the Four Horsemen as I would four strong individuals, even if two of them end up linking up, eventually.
You know what, man? Props to you for that. I mean, that's a great call out. I mean, I didn't even think of it that way. You're right. You're 100% right. But you could almost do the new Horsemen as now they have a direct tag team only team, and with the tag team division being so strong in AEW, that's right there is, you know, that's the option. You know, I mean that's they can be the Horsemen's representative in the tag team division forever, and it's such a strong division that, you know, it doesn't hurt having a tag team in the Four Horsemen. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Like a strictly only tag team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you never know. They're a tag team, but you could almost see you could see how they would work in singles competition as well.
Sure.
As time goes on, you know, maybe they can reverse what the Horsemen did. You know. So just a thought, but yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. You're 100% right there. I mean, either way. I mean, just, you know, seen a bunch of people crying about Butcher and Blade, you know, because they came out in that cream colored stuff during the FTR interview. It's like people are crying. They're crying so much about, like, why are these guys coming out in this gear now? It's like, bro, do you not realize ring versus out of ring attire?
Exactly.
Like, if I was a wrestler, I'm not wearing what I'm wearing now into the ring.
Right.
So
exactly.
I think people need to stop trying to fucking find some stupid shit, you know. Oh, and then it's like, oh, they're back to their regular gear. I see. It's like they weren't in fucking gear, man. They were on the outside of the ring,
right? It's
you know, being the quote unquote fans of the show, like the other wrestlers, and it's just their everyday gear. And technically, if you really think of their characters, their outside of ring gear actually is similar. What would you say, era like look? They're going for that old European, like, I don't know what year you would say, but late 1800s and early 1900s look, you know?
Yeah.
That's their whole gimmick with the monocle and all that. So they're just because it's lighter clothing, it still goes with their gimmick actually.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's theater.
They have that look, right?
Yeah, it's theater. I know that a lot of people like to hear that about wrestling, but it is. Wrestling is theater. You are going to have, you know, a specific type of wardrobe where, okay, I'm going to be, this is what I'm wearing if I'm going to be inside the ring. This is where if I'm going to be out of it. I'm not necessarily going to mix it up. It's okay to have a little bit of a different flair, a little bit of a different flavor if you're not actually in the ring. So I agree. I don't understand why there's so many other things to complain about in the business than something like that, but
yeah. I like taking some of these things that I see people complain about or discuss and give my own, like, spin on it or question why they would even bring it up. You know, I mean, you know, literally I seen somebody in one of the groups goes, I don't think AEW is going to be the same in 20 years. It's like, really? Thanks for that huge insight, man. Like, that was literally the post. That was literally the post. It's like, it's like, bro, your insight is, it's mind blowing. Like, it's holy shit, man. You blew my mind. The insight's crazy.
Wow. Okay.
All right. So, I don't know. I
didn't see that. My mind's wrapping around that one. It's
yeah, it was humorous. I definitely have. You know, I'm more of a lurker in a lot of the Facebook groups.
No, I am too.
I've always been a lurker, but I had to respond to that.
Yeah,
I had to. I mean, we'll transition now. We'll just touch Dark real quick. Something on Dark that got me. So before we get to the Dark, because I didn't really take note of who or what match it happened, but you know, one thing that I've noticed in some matches lately is the last couple years, some of the matches I've seen with this, they do that wide looping, like, hook over, and then the person, you know, they'll be in the middle of the ring, the two guys face to face, and they'll throw that wide looping hook, and the guy will duck, and then he'll come up, then he'll throw another wide right, you know, he'll go left, then he'll duck, right, he'll duck, left, he'll duck, and then it turns into, like, you know, then he gets hit because, you know, he missed both shots. But it's like, it's so blatantly obvious and unclean. I don't know why they do it. They literally throw hooks 4 feet over the person's head. Then they come back, throw another one 4 feet over the person's head. If you're going to be clean, don't do hooks like that in the middle of the ring just for, like, a spot. You know, it's kind of like, it's just messy. It don't look good. It doesn't look good. It doesn't add to the match. So there's no reason to even do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know the spot I'm talking about.
I'm remembering. I'm trying to remember exactly.
I think it was I think it was shit, man. It was
I'm looking through some of my notes now too because I was taking some
Alan Angels and what the hell's the dude's name? Was it No, not Musa. I think man, I wish I remembered the guy's name.
Was it the Musa Brady Pierce match versus Santina and Ortiz? Was that it?
No. It was the Allen Angels match.
Okay.
What the fuck, man? I can't remember the other guy's name. He's been on since the he's been on a bunch since the pandemic here.
Okay. Yeah,
But anyway, they did that spot and it's like, come on, I wish that spot would go away. It's just a fucking mess.
It's cartoony. You know? I mean, I guess that's my biggest issue with this. It looks very cartoony. It almost looks like you need a Warner Brothers thing going on in the background, like those. It is
right.
weird. Yeah.
It doesn't add to the match. No. It actually makes the match look fucking stupid.
Exactly.
Excuse my non-PC mouth there, but it just makes it look stupid. It really does. And you know what? We forgot to touch on. So before dark, Chris Statlander literally just came out and said she tore ACL. Doing the dive on Kip this past week. So
and she called it a high-grade tear. So that means she's gone for a very long time. I mean, I think gone again. Maybe she's not going to be like Britt Baker. They'll put her on TV. They could maybe find another role with her. But as far as being able to perform in the ring again, a high-grade tear in ACL, you're probably gone for 6 to 9 months.
Honestly, I don't know.
I think
I should know more of this. I listen to Joe Rogan, and that's all he talks about.
Well, I was going to say, and I'm a baseball guy, so I know when a baseball guy, injures his ACL, I normally know how long he's going to be out for. And I think you're probably looking at 6 to 9 months, if not more. It depends on how it heals. Because the problem with the ACL, and particularly in wrestling, is if it's bad enough, she might be done, period. Like, you can get surgery. It's possible. That is the nature of an ACL tear.
The technology now is so good with these tears.
Yeah, hopefully.
It's not like it used to be, man. They that I know for sure. Just from listening to Rogan, that's all he talks about half the time. It's a lot of stuff on. You listen to so much of somebody, you definitely know that he's mentioned how much the that stuff has come, how far it's come. With the medical field in the ACL, MCL, all that stuff. He's talked about it in length, that it's just on another level now. And honestly, a lot of people, it seems, come back quicker than they used to from it.
And again, though, I think it depends on the tear. ACL tears are different across the board. If you have a low grade tear, absolutely, you can come back a lot faster. I mean, if she's calling it a high grade tear, we don't really know. We don't know what the actual severity is of what she's saying here, so I don't know.
Right.
We'll find out.
Yeah, I don't know. From what I understand, a lot of times they'll just replace your whole ACL. So,
that is a good point.
It's almost stronger than your original ACL, from what I hear. I believe they use a cadaver.
Okay.
They use a cadaver, but again, I'm fucking talking bro science here. But no, I mean, enough with the shit you don't need to do, man. She don't need to be doing that stuff. She's so green. Work on your fucking in-ring stuff. Like, how many times? Work on the basics. Now she's going to be out, like you said, say 6 to 8 months. Say 4 to 8 months, 9 months, maybe a year. Now that's time that you don't have ring time to get better and learn the skills that you need to learn.
Yep.
To get out of that, to get out of that little field you're in of, being green and whatnot. It's just, I don't know. I just think it's just bad choices that need to be changed. I see it changing somewhat, a little bit here and there, overall on the shows, but she shouldn't have been doing crazy shit like that.
No, it was unnecessary.
Yeah. All right. So all the miscellaneous shit out of the way. Well, Dark, I know you said you touched base with Dark today. Real quick, I got some notes. Alan Angels is now 5 for Dark Order. I don't know why they showed. Maybe I missed something, but they showed him on the pre-show in the little panel of him versus the guy he wrestled, but they put him as 5, with the mask on. But then on the show, they show Brody initiating him into Dark Order in the back of a truck, semi trailer. But it was like, did they initiate him on the show, or was there something that I missed before the show and he became 5? Because why would you spoil the initiation by putting him up as 5 versus so-and-so, and then the show starts, and now you initiate him into Dark Order? I kind of felt like that was... I've seen that before. I think they did that 1 or 2 times before where they kind of spoiled something before it happened, and it was almost like, you got to be a little tighter than that. You can't be so blatant.
Yeah, and it felt like it was a weird segment they did, and I mean it occurred after the Lowrider Fuego de Sol SCU match. Like after that match, that's where like they go backstage, and that's where it's happening. It's like, Brody Lee's addressing him as 5, welcome to the Dark Order, hopes he'll make him proud, and that was it. And then Lee Johnson made his way out for his match against 5, and
that's the guy, Lee Johnson.
Yeah.
That's who it was.
Oh, that's who you were thinking. There you go.
Yes.
Lee Johnson. Yep, that's it.
During their match. And I don't think it was, I don't know which guy did it, but they were both party to it because one ducked it and one threw it.
Yep.
But it was fucking awful. Anyway. I think, I'd said early on, before we even started this podcast, I was saying how Dark needed to become less of a just thrown together matches. Now it's almost like a point where it's not worth watching because it's just squash matches, jobbers, enhancement matches. Now, I will say this. Maybe they have different intentions going forward, but in the pandemic, they're trying to give some local indie talent some work so they can make some money while getting their talent over.
Right.
So maybe they're going to go in the direction that it seemed like they were kind of going. So I could be wrong there, but, if not, and it's just going to be a squash show, what's the incentive for someone to go out of their way to go to YouTube to watch this every week, just to watch squash matches?
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? So that's all I had on that. What's your opinion on that? Is saying like similar idea? Like
I agree. In fact, because the last couple of weeks I told you I was having trouble accessing this, and I finally was able to, and I watched it for the first time from start to finish, and I kind of had the same feeling. I felt like I'm glad I watched it because I wanted to watch it so I could be able to speak to it for this show. Like there are a lot of podcasters who don't necessarily want to watch something; they do it because they want to be informed to be able to speak to their respective shows. I kind of feel like that with this, where it's not the kind of thing where I will necessarily enjoy watching week to week, because I'm not really a big fan of that format. It's like this is like old superstars of wrestling,
right? It's
exactly that. It's just you've got top guys squashing people for an hour, and if you're lucky, they'll throw in something big in there. They might throw a little nugget of something in there, but it's not going to happen often enough where you're going to feel like you want to watch it on a regular basis if you've got Dynamite happening the very next night.
Right. Now, listen, we are spoiled because it is a new world and it's no longer superstars or, WCW Saturday night. It's no longer, main event where you get one good match on the whole show. It's no longer that. I get it, but yeah, I mean, it's a new world, so nobody wants to see. I mean, I don't know, maybe. I mean, like I said, there's a place for enhancement matches, but I think a whole show of enhancement matches, I don't think there's a place for that.
No, I agree. It's an anachronism. It was a product of a different time to have something like that.
We get Pineapple Pete this week, baby. Another viewing,
Yep.
So that was fun. What do you have on Dark? Because I like I said, I'm only gonna touch on certain things. I don't know if you noted everything or just certain points.
I simply took down what was going on during the matches, what the results were, if I saw anything really interesting. I mean, again, I like the QT Marshall match. Okay. I am a fan of his, so it was nice to see him, and it was nice to see Ali out there. I think other than that,
dog you.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. That's a good reason to watch it. I did enjoy the Sunny Kiss Christopher Daniels match, actually. I like that one quite a bit. I think Christopher Daniels is somebody who I would like to definitely see rise up the ranks for sure. Put into a different situation. I think he's definitely there. I think if anything, maybe that's the reason to say this is a good format to watch, is that maybe it highlights talent where you can say, oh, that's great. I actually want to see this person get more exposed on the main product. Other than that, I didn't honestly have anything really special. I mean, Moxley had a match. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was nice to see. I guess if you're going to have like top talent on there, that's a good draw to get people to watch the show. He beat Robert Anthony. Wasn't much of a big deal.
Right. It was a decent match.
It was a decent match. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I like the end. Taz congratulating Moxley. It's like they're again pushing that situation with Cage. So there's a stare down at the very end. You have a little bit of a tease there.
Right.
I mean, honestly, those are the only significant notes I really had as far as what I took away from the program.
For the Daniels and Kiss match, Kiss got some talent.
Yeah.
I think at times he gets a little stagey, but you could see that he could work. He could work really well.
Yes.
Daniels got a little fired up and pissed off at the towards the end of that match. Maybe some heel shit.
Maybe
doing some heel shit.
There you go.
Was he 50 now, or just under 50? I believe he's old, man.
He's older. I'm trying to think.
His birthday just happened. I think they said he was about 50.
Jesus, is he really 50?
Listen.
Wow. You may be right.
He ain't 40, because I'm 42 and you're 78. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But so he's got to be probably 50, man. 49,
I'm looking
50.
right now.
Yeah.
No, dude, you're on the money. He's 50.
There you go.
He's 50 on the nose.
I thought I seen him say he was about 50, 49, or somewhere around 50.
Yeah, his birthday was back in March.
Okay.
There you go. I can't believe he's 50 years old, man.
I know you want to see him go up the ladder, but he's almost at a point in his career where he's going to be going down the end of,
But I guess I like his work enough to want to see more of him.
Oh yeah, no question.
On the main show. You're right. I guess up the ladder is the wrong terminology to use.
No, I got you.
He's walking down that ladder rapidly.
I do have the other note I took was Avalon and Cutler versus Luchasaurus and Marco.
Yeah.
I love the Avalon and Cutler stuff. I want to say it's goof. It's not bad goof though. It's more like two fucking idiots that they both are like, I'm not a loser. No, yes you are. No, you're not. No, I'm not.
Right. I know you are, but what am I?
Yeah, not in a goof like sense of like, Marco stunt setting up a mini ladder and climbing to the top and putting the fake choke slam and then Luchasaurus doing the actual choke slam, nothing like that. But so I'm digging the Avalon and Cutler stuff. Man, I gotta say, watching Luchasaurus, at first when I first seen him, I was like, man, this guy's gonna be impressive. But the more I watch him, for a guy who his whole thing is agility, it's very plotting. He's very plotting. His kicks.
Yeah.
His maneuvers, very plotting. So I'm slowly like not really becoming, I'm not staying a fan of Luchasaurus.
Yeah.
I don't hate him, but I just see that plotting style, but also trying to be that fast, agile style, and they're not it's not working. It's not coming across.
Yeah.
So I guess we covered Dark there, so we'll sweep right over to Dynamite. Listen, first off, who else wants Dasha Gonzalez back? This guy. I want Dasha Gonzalez back. Okay.
You know what, man? I'm sorry, but every time I think of Dasha, I think of, I don't know if you know this because I know you didn't really keep up with the product, but back in the day when she was at WWE, she was called Dasha Bot because she always just sounded she sounded robotic whenever she would speak. And it's funny. I guess Yeah, I guess Solid Monster's the one who used to call that her a lot, but it was catching on where she was like Dasha Bot. But no, you know what? I like her.
Listen, I think she's a good ring announcer.
She's
personally.
A good ring announcer, you know.
I mean, she ain't hard to look at, that's for
sure.
All right, all joking aside, we kind of covered FTR and Butcher and the Blade. So just a quick go over again. Solid match. Both teams did great. I like the basic shit, showing the rope, the tag rope,
yep,
the swinging neck breaker, the brain buster, all that stuff. Promo. Okay, so you guys talked about the promo after the match, right?
We did.
Okay.
Yeah, we got through the QT Marshall backstage with Allie and Brandy and Dustin.
All right, so I think Matt needs to tone it the fuck back a little bit. Not the promo, but just the way he delivers it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a little too like... I can't explain what it was, but just maybe pull it back a tad bit. It was a little too like... Rah! Like... Get your point across, but don't sound too fake. Maybe
he might have been feeling forced because again, they're trying to build this thing between these two teams.
Yeah, but there's a way to do it.
Ahead. I mean, yeah, he's just I don't know.
He was almost there, but I just felt it was a little too much oomph.
Sure.
Like where should have reined it maybe back a little bit. I didn't like this shit where 70 fucking teams come in a ring. Again, too much.
Yeah. There were too many people in the ring afterwards. It's kind of like if you want to do that before a big pay-per-view where you're going to have like a 6-man tag or you're going to have even like a fatal 4-way or something like that, fine. But yeah, they're doing it now just for the sake of doing it. They're just throwing everybody in there.
You could set up multi-tag beefs with more than one segment. You don't need if you want to build a 3 or 4 team situation, you can do it over the show or over 2 shows. You don't have to do it in one goddamn ending of a match segment.
Right.
One of the goofy things, man, was Matt Havoc was beating down Nick in the corner, and Matt turns Havoc around, and Matt has the advantage. Instead of just hitting him in the back, Matt turns him around and just kind of does the lean in, like hunch over, and waits for Havoc to attack him. And I'm like, what? The guy, you turned him around. Why are you leaning in to wait for him? It looked bad. It just makes it look bad. Too many people bring up that type of scenario where you can nitpick every fucking little thing that happens.
Yeah.
And then when Omega runs out and with Hangman, Omega runs out looking like a fucking goof, like he does on fucking Being the Elite when he's running away from what's his name there? What the fuck? Colt Cabana. I don't know if you watch it, but he's got some little goofy thing going with Colt Cabana. But he runs out looking like a fucking goof, and I'm like, God, Omega, please don't do that to me, man. Like trying to support you, man, but you run out looking like a goof. Run out, man. Run the fuck out.
Yeah.
Look like a goddamn man when you run out, not a little fucking goofball.
Yeah.
I try not to fucking really kill the guy because I love Omega, but he definitely got a little goofy side to him. And I get that, but you don't run out like that. When it comes to the, I know he's got seems to have a quirky personality personally, but you don't necessarily have to bring that into everything you do in the ring, just because you can. We talked about Allie and all that. Penelope Nyla and Statlander Shida, as we found out, Statlander hurt her leg.
Yep.
Was this supposed to be a singles match and they turned it to a tag match? Did I read that? Or I might be wrong. I thought there was supposed to be a singles thing or something, and maybe I thought I read it, but Anyway.
No, I think it started with Nyla and Penelope, versus Chris Statlander and Shida.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, maybe I'm just thinking, but what's with the tag match? Why does there have to be a tag match? More women.
It didn't have to be. And again, this is the overuse of tag team wrestling.
Right. Not only the overuse of tag team wrestling, but you have women who need to learn how to wrestle. And now you're putting more confusion in the mix. Why? You know,
Yep.
I get what they're doing. They're setting up Penelope versus Shida. I see it. They did it, you know, whatever. They should be honing their craft, especially one-on-one, unless they definitely need a tag match. They didn't need a tag match here.
No. And it came right after another tag match. That's the thing that I had a problem with, too.
Right, they had 3 tag matches in a row, I believe.
Yeah, you got to break it up. I mean, if you're going to have multiple tag team matches on the show, it's totally fine, but you need a break in between the matches.
Yeah. Not a bad match overall. Statlander yet again, misses another kick.
Yep.
They went for the double duck down and went to flip Statlander, but Statlander put on the brakes, does the double, you know, does one kick, does another kick, misses one kick completely on Penelope. You know, again, rather than doing dives and putting yourself out for 9 months, you should be working on your talents for 9 months. Now you can't.
Exactly.
So, then Nyla does the setup on the ropes with Shida and then Statlander. Now, I didn't like this part because number one, Shida wasn't really that beat up before she got hung on the ropes. So it was like, if you had her beat down really bad and then you hung her on the ropes, it makes sense. But then now Shida's laying on the ropes after not being beat up very long, just draped over, waiting. Now Statlander gets put on there after not being beat up that much. Waiting, puts on the bow. Then waiting. Nyla gets up top. Nyla does the knee. Fucking A, bro. When Shida came back up after that bounce, she almost got decapitated by that bottom rope. I don't know if you caught that, but
I did. That was a bad spot.
I don't know, man.
Bad spot.
It's a vicious looking move, but vicious. You know, a lot of people have sold it well. A lot of the women have sold it well, but it's also vicious if something like that happens and you know. She bounced up wrong and it hit the wrong way, you know.
Exactly. I think it's too chancy, that kind of. I mean, it does look cool, I guess, other than the constant pausing that was going on with it. Yeah. But yeah, it's too close for comfort, I think, when you're dealing with the ropes like that. I didn't like it, and I was thinking to myself, like, ooh, yeah, that could have been bad.
Yeah. Like I said, all those little complaints, but I still thought the match was good, and they you know, built up some of these women pretty well. So, I don't know. AEW's been doing a good job at protecting finishers, but Penelope kicked out of Shida's finisher, which kind of surprised me.
I was a little shocked by that too. I get it that they want to do it because they want her to look, you know, strong and all, but it's like, I felt like, are you really gonna kick out a finisher like that on a show like this? It's not gonna be like a major angle. It's like, I don't know.
That didn't make sense to me.
No, it didn't either. And I also wonder if that was something that just went wrong there with timing.
Yeah, I did love the perfect plex at the end by Penelope. You know,
yes,
it's nice seeing a perfect plex again.
It is.
Of WWF, Perfect was one of those guys that I was a fan of early on. You know, so you know.
And you know, it was also, wasn't it? Let's see, it was the perfect plex, but before that, wasn't it a different move as well?
I mean, it's a fisherman. Was it the fisherman suplex?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a fisherman suplex, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Okay. I felt like it was called something else as well, but okay.
Nah, I mean,
maybe it's just that fisherman. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, Darby at Tony Hawk's place, the little vignette. Nothing really to it. The only good thing about it was, you know, Tony Hawk.
And, exactly.
You know, that, again, like we spoke about, brings eyes to AEW. So, can't hate on that. You know me, I flipped my opinion on that. You know, it's not like Tony Hawk was trying to wrestle either, but
no,
you know,
yeah.
it worked for that sake. As far as the vignette itself, I mean, it was just Darby showing what Darby does. I'll put my body through it, even if I'm not able to wrestle. I'll still go out here and get banged up. You know, so wasn't nothing fancy. Your opinion?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was, again, Tony Hawk, I could do with or without him. I know that it's important to have him there for the purpose of getting those eyes, but It's nobody's fault. I've never been
Tony Hawk Pro Skaters revamped, bro. They just did the remaster, man.
Oh no, I know. I never got into Tony Hawk. It's not that I didn't like him. I just never got into him. I never got into the skating stage.
It's
just
with you.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never. It's like, okay, he's cool. He's there, celebrity. All right, it's nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like the angles of what they're doing. It's like, oh, he's not medically cleared to wrestle, but he doesn't care. He's gonna do all this shit, and it's like, all right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Then we had some more Brit fun. You know, it was short. It was short and sweet. You know, still doing what she's doing.
She's the model.
Yeah. After the commercial, this is something that, you know, in both of our hearts there, Jericho went out of his way to bring up the action figures that they just showed the commercial for.
Yes.
And, you know, he when they came back after the commercial, he brought it up and kind of pushed it. So that was cool. Much needed push on the actual show. You know, the commercial's cool, but, you know, especially with the announcers pushing it, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, me and you are looking forward to those action figures. So
exactly.
Since we collect toys.
Right. Action figures.
So then we got Inner Circle versus Best Friends. Well, who was it? It was Ortiz, Santana, and
it was Jake Hager,
right.
Santana, Ortiz versus Best Friends and Orange Cassidy.
Fucking Ortiz again, man. He's one of my favorites in AEW. He does the Rick Rude gyrations.
Yep.
You know, fucking love him.
Yep.
Then he bumps Chuck T off the apron, stares down Orange, and nonchalantly pulls off his sunglasses and just flicks them away. You know what I mean? Like, just like how he did it. He just kind of stared at him and he just like, boop, you're gone. Yep. That was in picture, unfortunately, but that would have been great for the actual, you know, show, because a lot of people tune out in picture, but it was, for me, it was like the fucking one of the best spots. The hip gyrations, then he bumps Chucky T.
Yep.
And then just walks up to Orange Cassidy and kind of whoop, give me them glasses and see you later.
Yep. I like
it. Jim Ross. He said when him and Hager, Orange Cassidy and Hager were standing up to each other, he goes, you look like twins. Looks like Orange Cassidy been left in the dryer too long now. I'm so bad at delivering that. I apologize. I completely ruined the thing. But just the way he had it, he was like, "Yeah, they look like twins." I forget who said that, and then he goes, "Yeah, but it looks like Orange Cassidy was left in the dryer too long."
Yep.
And I popped hard for that. That was great. I'm sorry, Jim Ross, for completely butchering that. My notes are shit. I hate having to read these notes like this though, because it's like my brain, I can't remember the shit, so I have to take the notes. But it's hard to read them and kind of put out a good, solid, you know, conversation at the same time. But good match. All six were solid. I mean, what else on that? Anything from you?
I mean, just the post match. You know, post match was interesting.
Yes.
The bag of blood oranges was particularly, I don't know, it got very violent.
It did. I thought when they had when he was down and they had the low camera angle and he thumped him, man, that camera bounced up. I was like, ooh, that sounded
that was
fucking
a bit violent.
I didn't understand why he had a bag of oranges and then a secondary small bag of oranges. I didn't understand that.
I couldn't figure that out either.
I was wondering if maybe the small bag were actual oranges and then the other bag was full of fake oranges, so they weren't so heavy, but probably not, because a lot of it seemed to explode and crush.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe, but why would you not prep that beforehand anyway?
Exactly. But yeah, again, you know, furthering that feud, Orange Cassidy has been juiced.
Yes, he's been squeezed.
So
it was well done. It was a well done ending beatdown. You know?
Yep.
A lot of times they look like shit, but that was well done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they beat his ass, man. Like I said, I felt that shit when he hit him in the ribs with them. I was like,
yeah.
MJF had that promo, building towards his match with Billy Gunn. Shivani's facials during that were fucking great, man. Shivani is a legend, man. He's what every person needs.
Yeah.
This guy's money, man. I've always been a fan of his. He really shits on his I know I've said this before. He shits on his WCW days, but I feel like I kind of get annoyed by that because he almost piles on WCW. But man, he during WCW his run, he was fucking awesome, and now he's added extra to this incarnation of his career. So it's like it's that much better, man.
Yeah.
So he's a national treasure, that guy.
And Billy Gunn, not feeling Billy Gunn so much, but getting his kids involved is pretty cool.
Yeah, it was it's more like MJF building towards a TNT title.
Yeah.
Run, it looks like, So I know we discussed TNT title and what we saw for the future, but it looks like MJF might come up sooner than later.
It does look like that.
For that, so because he keeps talking about it. There's where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah. A little surprising.
Then they went on to recap the Colt Dark Order stuff. Like I mentioned last week, how he folded up the paper and kind of looked like he took it, and then last week, so that goes right into Sammy versus Colt. Why was Colt coming out second, man? Sammy's a starter.
I didn't understand that either, actually. I also made a note of that. That was very, very odd.
Yeah, I don't know. The Hit Me Up Mobile. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, unless they're really just trying to play Colt up to make you wonder if he's going to join, and they're trying to make a big deal out of him. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's like the main event, like the I guess in the analogy of the champion comes out second.
Yeah.
But it's almost like you take that too, like the lesser talent comes out first.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
Whatever.
Whether it's a title or not.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Right. The Hit Me Up Mobile. I just noticed now he has one of those black ice pine tree fresheners on it. I was fucking. I popped when I saw that. I popped.
That's hysterical.
Again, the match was okay. I'm not a Colt fan. I keep saying it.
Yeah,
whatever.
I was a bigger fan, I guess, when he first came in, but the more I'm seeing him, especially when you look at him compared to the other talent that he's up, it's like, he doesn't really.
His goof shit just brings the match down.
Exactly, it does. It really does.
It doesn't enhance the match. It just brings it down.
I agree.
More heel shit, or I'm sorry, Dark Order, Colt turn type shit. He leaves out of the heel tunnel.
Yep.
Then Sammy and Matt Hardy promo wasn't bad. I kind of like that they're going in the direction of Matt and Sammy. It's like I mentioned last week. Why was he nice to him in the hallway? And I kind of brought up maybe it's because he's in Matt Hardy V1 or whatever the fuck he is. And maybe as Damascus he's come out. Of course, he flipped up and became Damascus mid-interview, and all of a sudden he's going after Sammy hard. So it was kind of obvious, but it was like that's kind of what I thought. It was almost like why. Sammy needs to slow his mic work down.
Yeah.
He was super fast.
Yeah, he talks really
slow
fast.
It down. Be more deliberate. You don't have to slow it way down, but you go from 100 to 60.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do it at 60 because you need to be that chicken shit heel, but you don't want to rush and scream through your fucking promo. And
you almost need closed captioning to see everything that he said.
Right. His ring work, his demeanor, his selling is all top notch. He hasn't got much mic time, but seeing him get that mic time on the show kind of showed me like, whoa, he needs to fucking pump the brakes a little bit.
Yep.
Just slow it down. What do you got? What do you got on that promo? Anything from your notes?
No, I mean, same deal. It's like I guess the whole thing with Matt gets a little tiresome. He's like many faces. He's first Matt version 1, switch to face. He's Broken Matt. He's Damascus. I don't know. I do feel like they're trying to build toward maybe a potential alliance, I guess, with Sammy. I would like to first see what I hope it's going to lead to, which is, again, more of a bigger match like at the Hardy compound or something like that. And then maybe after that, they become allies. That could be where this is leading.
I really hope not, because I don't, he's kind of like, oh, you don't need to be with the inner circle. I hope they don't. I don't know why they're even teasing that. I hope they don't.
Yeah.
Because I think Sammy's perfect where he is, his spot in the inner circle.
I do too.
So him and Jericho play off each other great. Yep. They got the Les Sex Gods. They pose together. I think it's fucking brilliant.
And the last thing he needs is to become a face. It's like, I don't think it would work for him.
Yeah, nah, I like him as a heel.
Yep.
I was going to say I could see Jericho turning on him, but that would still make him a face,
Exactly.
But, yeah. So we'll move to Janela got that promo. Got to the point, it got straight to the point. It got me actually interested to see where they're going with it. Sonny Kiss pulling up, picking him up.
Yeah.
So that was pretty interesting.
The little to be continued though is it's hokey.
It didn't bother me.
No?
I get it though. I get what you're saying though. I mean, that's my opinion. Is it didn't bother me. Your opinion is a little hokey.
Yeah.
It was obviously it wasn't like just a camera's there. It was a produced segment.
Yes.
So that's why I'm okay with it,
Yeah.
So just, so whatever. I mean, it was nothing big. It was just like a quick little thing that actually got me interested a little bit,
Yeah.
Mox with another great promo, intense. Taz comes out and interrupts him. Cage attacks him from behind. The old car prop comes in.
Yep.
Got the gimmick. Got the car gimmick.
Gotta get that car gimmick.
I'll tell you what. The bumps he took had me cringing, knowing that I know his lower back is not healed.
No, I was gonna
I
say.
know it's not
I'm
healed.
pretty surprised he was able to take the brunts that he did, considering that.
You don't have that kind of bruising and then be fine 2-3 weeks later.
No.
Nah, not at all.
No.
Not at all. It was good though.
Yeah. Continued build.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to the match itself. I do want to see it already. It's like we're at that point now where it's just like, how far away is Fyter Fest? I want to just see it already.
Yeah. my thing is like, what are they gonna do now with Cage? We'll talk about it closer, but as we get closer. But what are they gonna do now with Cage, man? It's like we gotta. Can he win the title? I don't think so. I think Mox needs it longer. Again, I don't want titles changing every 3-4 months. It's 6 months, I think somebody needs to stay on the tear, good, year plus run. But what do you do with Cage afterward? That's the question.
Exactly. I mean, unless you have like somebody high profile come in, cost of the match, so he still looks strong, and then but it's like, who would that be? I don't know really who you could put him in there with right now.
Yeah, yes, you do. But we'll talk about that leading up to Fyter Fest.
Okay.
If you think about it a little harder, you'll come with it.
Okay.
We'll talk during before Fyter Fest.
Yeah.
This way we don't blow our wad too quick with that, because it's still early. We could talk Fyter Fest closer to the show.
Okay.
So Cody Marquand, TNT title. Dude, he hit that neck breaker into the DDT. That thing was fucking sick.
That was pretty good.
I don't know what you call it. I mean, that's how I looked. It was like almost like a neck breaker, like into the DDT. I mean,
I wouldn't necessarily call it like one move. That's essentially what it was. It was like it was a corkscrew. Essentially, it was a corkscrew that became a DDT.
Yeah. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah, that was great.
Man, he did that 450. Marquand did that 450 to the ramp. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the impact on your fucking knees had to be brutal.
That's not. Yeah, I cringed a bit when I saw that actually.
Yeah, me too. I was like, eesh.
Yeah.
We're getting old, man. We're old as fuck, man.
Exactly.
I can't even roll out of bed without fucking punching over.
I was rubbing my surgically repaired knee actually when I saw it. Just like,
I expected the match to be better, man. I really did.
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't. Yeah. On paper, I was expecting it to be better for sure, but it was okay.
Yeah.
It was entertaining. Again, I do like the idea of this. That every week there's going to be a different opponent, and they got together in the ring at the end. They shook hands, and that Jake Hager comes out and all right, next.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that shaking hands shit. And all that. Like I said last week, I'm just like, just stop. At least 50 people didn't come out, just to congratulate them.
Exactly.
Hager coming out was great. I was fine with that. He's doing a great job, Hager, man. I'm really buying into him. I'm a fan of him. A lot of people were shitting on him. Oh, he's fine where he is, just being that quiet heel that does nothing. That's a perfect role for him. Man, I think he's the roles he's slowly been gaining have been perfect for him.
Yeah, and
I don't think he needs to be a quiet monster heel that just stands above Jericho. I think he's doing well in what he's been given, and he's making me a fan. Yep. I never seen a guy in the WWE when he was over there, but I think the more build, the better. I thought maybe that would be next week's, but I guess they're pushing the TNT title match with him into Fyter Fest. So
and that's odd, actually, because I feel like when you have a situation where a title is going to be defended every week, but you're already planning a TNT match at Fyter Fest, how does that work? Are you then going to have a stipulation where, okay, if Cody loses, whoever is the champion will then face Hager at Fyter Fest? You kind of need to speak to that, because if you don't, it's now just predictable. It's like, all right, well,
exactly.
Okay, it's going to happen now between now and Fyter Fest, so you're spoiling
it. If you're going to put it up as a thing, it's Jake Hager versus Cody for the TNT title, unless put the stipulation in there when it, like you said, unless Cody loses his title between then and that, and it'll be Jake versus the champ,
Yeah.
Now, they haven't announced next week's TNT title match, right?
I don't think they did.
There was no buzz.
No.
I meant to bring this up earlier. I didn't put it in my notes. Completely forgot to put it in my notes. Because it was just like yesterday or something. It kind of popped into my head. Yesterday, because of the whole Ricky Starks scenario.
Oh, yeah.
So think about it. Cody says, I'll challenge anybody from wherever. They don't have to be in AEW. And every week they've been noting who's going to challenge him. This might be the first official during the show challenge of Cody for the TNT title. And I guess who better than to bring in and do the challenge than Ricky Starks?
Yep. I think it would be a nice little surprise. Makes a lot of sense. Especially if you do want to now try to create some drama between now and Fyter Fest, because now you need to create drama. Now they put themselves into a corner, so you're going to want to have a situation where at least you're surprised every week of who's going to be facing him. So I like that idea.
Yes. Yeah. So, on that note, I don't have any other notes. You got anything miscellaneous that you had thought of over the week that maybe you wanted to talk about, or?
No, I kind of feel like we're in a treading water phase right now. I guess this is the only criticism I have with the whole how long it's taking to get to Fyter Fest is that it's hard to. I don't know. I kind of feel like now we're just waiting for Fyter Fest. You know what I mean? The shows are entertaining. I'm enjoying it a lot. I like to see where everything's going. But now I feel like we're just waiting to get there. And I kind of wish it was a little earlier. I kind of wish it was moved up a bit from where it is. I know we're not that far away on paper. We're really not. June is going like a bullet, but still.
I think you're kind of in that WWE
could be
trained mode where they do a pay-per-view every month, but they literally, it seems like everything's a month build for the pay-per-view, then gone. Almost like they don't have
totally be right.
They don't have. Am I wrong? I don't watch it enough.
No, I think you're right. I've
watched very little, but from everything peripherally that I see, because you see who's wrestling, you hear who's wrestling who, being in the wrestling groups, you hear who won a match, and then you see what their next program is, and it doesn't seem like they go from. It doesn't seem like they go for a 4-month program with the same 2 wrestlers over multiple pay-per-views.
Right.
That used to be a thing. It seems like now they're literally just going in 12 segments throughout the year, and they're all separate from each other,
right.
and they're all 4 week, per se 4 weeks, So maybe you're indoctrinated into that mindset of that's the way.
It could be.
Could be. I mean,
so I gotta get out of that mindset.
I'm just saying, maybe, so.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why you're kind of like, fucking give it to me already, because you're used to getting it,
Yeah. Well, also, it goes to show I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I am looking forward to what they put on paper for it, so I kind of do want to just see it now. And I guess for something like Cage and Moxley, for instance, how much more build-up can you really do between now and Fyter Fest? They built this up about as much as they could. The only way I can maybe see them building it up, and this is kind of an old school thing, is maybe you have a tag team match. You've got Cage and somebody against Moxley and somebody. That way you tease them being in the ring. You maybe tease a short segment of them fighting each other, and that's it. But outside of that, I kind of feel like, all right, I see what I need to see. I want to see them go at it now.
Yeah. No, you're right. But like, who am I to like? Just my opinion is, I think it's like maybe that's a reason people's mindset are like, fuck, because I would like to see other things build. So maybe you're right in the Cage Moxley sense. Yeah. But I still like to see the FTR build, where that's going.
Sure. Definitely not. Yeah.
So I mean, again, I'm also different. Like, I'm not that guy that's, they always say, oh, like, you have to do, you can't have long YouTube videos because people don't pay attention. Bro, I listen to 4-hour podcasts and I fucking love them. If I can't listen to all 4 hours at once, I'll listen every time I'm in the car or whatever, whenever I'm working, whenever I get a chance, but I will complete that podcast. I'm not one of these guys that, like, needs everything new right away, So I savor content, longer content to me is even better. Sure. I hate looking at one of my favorite podcasts. I go, oh, it's an hour? Oh, fuck. Then it's gone. Then I got to wait another week for it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think that's like you've told me this in the past. It's kind of like, maybe not you, but it's almost like, people's mind frames are, here and gone. They want the next thing quicker than the last,
Yeah, they do.
So, but, maybe you're right. I think you're right in the Cage and Mox sense. I think that's reached its peak, I think. But in other senses, I think, the TNT title, like, what can happen between then and now, because that kind of just got announced. So I mean, there's a couple weeks to build towards that, with Hager and Cody. Maybe they soften Cody up a little bit. FTR, what happens, but but that's good. I mean, it gives us some more weeks to discuss the future of Fyter Fest and
there you
go. But other than that, man, I got nothing else.
Yeah, no, I think we're good.
All right, like I said at the beginning, hit us up. First I'd like to apologize. We had some technical issues. Our buddy Anthony had to leave because it was just we were getting some echoes here, so we had to pause the show for a few and try to figure it out. So he had to bounce out because that was the only option. Again, we'll work on this because we do want to have people on. I mean, that's what makes it fun. So again, we apologize for that little break in between, but thank you for sticking with us.
Yes, thank you.
It kind of threw me off early on, so I know they kind of carried the show earlier as I was working that out, but like I said earlier in the show at the beginning, just please send us an invite on Skype, link in the description. That's how you get on the show to chat with us. Then like, share, subscribe on YouTube, please. That's huge. All the podcast apps, we're basically on them, and iTunes review and give us a rating. That's huge. All that stuff is big time for the algorithms with these particular places. That's how we get seen. That's how we get put on the map there. Yep. So thank you for those that listen, and thanks to those for the heads up that we were echoing.
Yes, thank you for that.
That's we really appreciate that. And again, we're sorry. But hopefully next time we'll fix that. And that's it. We're out.
All righty.
Peace.
Peace out, everybody.